Tawazani emakosini kamako. Thank you for joining me for another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Umlosi, the ancestral spirit. I will speak about the Losi people first and then touch lightly on the ancestral spirit. This is to protect the sacred art, but also not to cause any confusion with people's journey. As our spirits may be the same, but could very well originate from different areas on the continent. As we study the Losi people, we must needs look at the related groups or the other names that the Losi people go by. Losi people or Barotse are a southern African ethnic group who speak Losi or Silozi, a Sutuana language. The Losi people consist of more than 46 different ethnic groups and are primarily situated between Namibia, Angola, Botswana, Zimbabwe, including half of the eastern and northern province of Zambia, inhabiting the region of Barotse land. So the singular is Mulozi or Murotse, and the plural is Balozi or Barotse. Okay, let's go deeper. Lozi is also a nationality of the people of Barotse land, an amalgamation of several smaller ethnic groups and tribes. The Lozi people number approximately just under 6 million. Lozi are also found in Zambia, Namibia, Angola, Botswana, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe. The Lozi are also known as the Malozi, Nyambe, Makololo, Barotse, Rotse, Rozi, Rutse, Baloi, Balubedu, or Tovi. Later on, we will take a look at the Balubedu people. The word Lozi means plain in the Makololo language, in reference to the Barotse floodplain of the Zambezi, on and around which most Lozi live. Lozi tradition states that they have always inhabited Barotse land. In about 1830, an army that originated in the Sotho-speaking Bafokeng region of South Africa, known as the Makololo, led by a warrior called Sutuana, invaded Barotse land and conquered the Lozi. They ruled until 1864, when the Sotho clique was overthrown following a Lozi revolt. Criticisms of a Litunga, which is what they call their chiefs, by a foreigner are treated as criticisms of the Lozi nation as a whole. The Lozi are not separate into clans, unlike most African ethnic groups. Lozi culture is strongly influenced by the flood cycle of the Zambezi River, with annual migrations taking place from the floodplain to higher ground at the start of the wet season. I found a research paper online on the Lozi people and the language from the University of Zambia, which goes in deeper into what I've read so far. It's called Tracing the Origins, Development and Status of Lozi Language, a Social-Linguistic and African Oral Literature Perspective. Some allude to the fact that the Lozi language is a dialect of Southern Sotho, the language of the conquerors under Sutuana. The Lozi people themselves claim that they were first inhabitants of the plains and that they have always been there. Today, the Lozi themselves say that there is practically no Lozi who is pure Lui, so they point their ancestry to Nkoya, Kwangwa, Subia, Totela, Mbunda, Kololo, among other languages. This can be attributed to intermarriages and dominance over small languages. The language of the conquerors, Sikololo, came to be spoken not only between the conquerors and the conquered, but also for the mutual communication among the latter. Although the period of Makololo government was less than 40 years, Sikololo survived even after the upset was complete. One of the reasons for its survival must be that many Kololo women remained alive and became wives to chiefs or herdsmen who led the struggle to expel the invaders. As is well known, linguistic influence upon infants is stronger from females than from males, and this tendency is much stronger in societies which practice polygamy. The central part of Luyana people took Sikololo, now known as Silozi, as their mother tongue, and a tribe called Losi was formed. Losi language is one of the languages widely spoken throughout western province of Zambia and is one of the 7 national languages of the country. The population of its native is estimated at more than 1 million people, but many speak and understand it as their second or third language. It is also spoken in Portuguese territory of Angola, Namibia, Botswana, and parts of South Africa. So, because of the historical relationship, we can now understand why Losi is under or categorized, classified as a Sutuana language. So, just to show you how similar the language is, Matla, strength, and then in Losi it's Maata. Not sure, okay? Could be wrong. And then Mata in Soto and Mata in Lozi. So we read earlier that the Lozi people are also known as the Balubedu people. So we're going to take a look at the Balubedu people. We can see the related ethnic group is the Sutu people, the Bedi, the Venda, the Tswana people. So the Lubedu or Balubedu are a southern African ethnic group. They are initially known as Bakwebo. The name Balubedu means the mineral miners, Lobela, Huloba, to mine. Their ancestors are part of the great Mapungubwe early civilization. They have their own kingdom, the Balubedu kingdom within the Limpopo province of South Africa, with a female ruler, the Rain Queen Mojaji. Their language is known as Lubedu or Kelubedu and is sometimes considered a dialect of Northern Sutu language. Kelubedu is grammatically similar to other Sutu-Tswana languages. Mutual intelligibility between the Chivenda dialects and Kelobedu is so high that speakers of these Venda dialects can effectively communicate Kelobedu with Kelobedu speakers without difficulty. Kelobedu could easily have been classified as a Venda dialect or an independent language. The Balubedu are more closely related to the Losi kingdom started by Limba. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. As they were migrating southward, another splinter went southeast. The northern Losi are found in the present-day western province of Zambia. They settled alongside the Zambia river banks and established it as Musiwatunya. I'm not sure if I'm also saying that properly. Present-day Victoria Falls. The rain-making powers of Queen Mojaji are also synonymous with the Njelele shrine in Silozi, and is therefore accepted that there is an intertwining of their history with the rest of the Lozi. Lozi carry the history of rainmaking as the current Lozi King Mike Moyo, who is also gifted at rainmaking. Linguists have listed Lubedu together with Kalanga, Nyambia, Venda, Lemba, Shankwe, Nubi, and Garanga as the language of the Losi, and consequently connects them to their history. Let's quickly find out about the Limba tribe. Limba tribe can be found not only in Zimbabwe, but in remote locations within South Africa and Mozambique. The results? By actual DNA science, the Limba have been genetically linked with Israel. In fact, there are 12 clans in the Limba, one which is known as the Buba. Within the Buba, they remarkably carry the Cohen model haplotype, a set of Y chromosome characteristics typical of the Jewish Levite priesthood. So, yes, for the Losi, for Umlosi, the ancestral spirit, we'll be taking a look at Levi. Now, there is a misnomer when it comes to Istunya. Number one, Istunya is umoya, but it comes with idlozi, aka ugogo or umkhulu wako. Therefore, you must still phahla and not neglect your ancestors. You still have idlozi. Number two, Istunya is umlozi. The ancestral spirit has the capacity to lead ibandla or a people like Moses. But then again, it's totally, entirely up to your ancestors on how they work and your journey that God has for you. So let's take a look at Deuteronomy 33. Moses' words to Levi, the tribe. O Lord, you have given your Tumim and Urim, the sacred lots of divining, to your faithful servants, the Levites. You put them to the test at Massa and struggled with them at the waters of Meribah. The Levites obeyed your word and guarded your covenant, and they were more loyal to you than their own parents. They ignored their relatives and did not acknowledge their own children. They ignored their relatives and did not acknowledge their own children. They teach your regulations to Jacob. They give your instructions to Israel. They present incense before you and offer whole burnt offerings on your altar. Bless the ministry of the Levites, O Lord, and accept all the work of their hands. Hit their enemies where it hurts the most. Strike down their foes so that they never rise again. So Umlosi is a very powerful spirit. It is the spirit that is often mistaken as Istunya, as I stated earlier. It has the ability to work on a strictly consultation basis or in a church setting. Hence, when you have such a spirit, you are umtandazi, umprofeti, or you could be both. Moses said this about the tribe of Zebulun and Issachar. May the people of Zebulun prosper in their travels. May the people of Issachar prosper at home in their tents. They summon the people to the mountain to offer proper sacrifices there. They benefit from the riches of the sea and the hidden treasures in the sand. So the offering of sacrifices was done by the priests. But what I will say here is this ancestral spirit is split into two. It is firstly earth spirit, but then it can also be a water spirit. So one of the ways that you could have Umlozi is actually seen here is in 1 Samuel chapter 3. One night Eli, who was almost blind by now, had gone to bed. The lamp of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was sleeping in the tabernacle near the ark of God. Suddenly the Lord called out, "Samuel." "Yes," Samuel replied. "What is it?" He got up and ran to Eli. "Here I am. Did you call me?" "I didn't call you," Eli replied. "Go back to bed." So he did. So signs that you could have this spirit is hearing people call your name. It's like someone is calling your name, or having funny sounds in your ears, ringing sounds, high-pitched noises. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. All right, the noise in the air, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. For unto us a child is born, unto us a child is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor. I just want to focus on that word counselor. So I see the Spirit as a wonderful counselor because it is an extraordinary strategist. If you find in the Bible that most of the strategies, even for the kings and so forth, it came from either the priests or the prophets. You know, this spirit is powerful. It is an extraordinary strategist. It's a good discerner of spirits. Makos. I hope everyone learned something. I cannot go deep spiritually to protect the sacred art and don't want to confuse anyone with their journey. So it is very important to find out imvelaphi yakho, where you come from and where your ancestors come from. Thokozani, emakhosini.